morning, YouTube. This is Scott Love with Iron City Power Washing. It's Monday, 8:15. I am set up. I'm in a neighborhood called Blackridge, and this may be the nicest neighborhood maybe in Alabama. I mean, there are some houses here. These are the small ones, let's just say that. This is a beautiful neighborhood. We do a good bit of work in here. We definitely have other neighborhoods we do more work in, but my business partner and I are doing this one together because this particular customer asked for a COI before coming and cleaning their house. So with that being said, we're going to be even more careful than we already are. So I am going to saturate all this vegetation, especially those hydrangeas, with water before I do anything. Luckily this side is in the shade, so I should be able to soap this entire side. And then I have to break loose and go do another job. We had a customer ask us to come earlier. I'm gonna get half the house done, and then my business partner will be here. He'll finish, we'll get paid. But I wanted to take the front of the house on myself because I know how worried they are about the vegetation. So I have a Ring doorbell over there I need to cover. I'm letting my water tank fill up a little bit. I've done a complete walk around of the house just to make sure there's nothing that needs to be covered. They don't have a TV in the back, which is a blessing. Mainly that Ring doorbell needs to be covered, but I'm about to crank up and just saturate all of these plants. We'll probably go ahead and rinse inside of the porch. It's mainly just cobwebs. The only mold I've noticed is on the gutter line and the wooden soffits here. But my business partner should be here any moment. He'll pull in the driveway and he'll take care of the back half of the house. So let's get cranked up. Let's get going. All right, guys. This is just water. I'm gonna get all this saturated before I do anything as far as chemicals. It's good to pre-wet the windows anyways down here in the south because everything gets so hot. One thing I did, guys, I did get the customer out here, show her all this wood that's chipping, or all the paint that's chipping on the side of these columns. Always document any damage you see on a house, because the last thing you want is them to think you did that. Especially that right there. I mean, you don't know. They may have not come to this side of the house in years, and then you come out here and wash, and they finally walk over here to look at your work, and oh, the pressure washing guys did that. So document any damage you see, guys. Now we pulling Kim. See a little bit of soap on the roof right there. Using the 1.8, that's my go-to. Nothing like a little SH in the face, baby. Let's go. All right, guys. I'm here with a business partner now, and we are cruising. Getting everything rinsed. What's up, guys? This is the next day, but I wanted to hop on here and talk about a couple things with house washes, especially when you're touching these $1 million plus properties, really any property that you wash. You know, every time I get on a call with someone, and, you know, I always encourage people when they first get started to, you know, get your feet wet with cleaning driveways, patios, sidewalks, focusing on flat work. That gets you familiar with your machine, your surface cleaner, you know, learning how to downstream concrete. And then, you know, once you get familiar with that, then you can move on to doing some house washes. We downstream, you know, there's many ways. I'm not going to say there's one right way to soft wash a house. We downstream houses. It's been very effective for us. But what I really want to talk about before I head out, it's 7:37. Got a job at 8:30. But I always come and get in my truck and do some admin work, read a little bit, get my mind right for the day, eat a little breakfast, and then I hit the road. But I hit on it a little bit in yesterday's video, doing a very thorough walkthrough before you start the job. So a lot of our estimates now, just because we're growing so fast and we have so many calls that come in, I have created a system to do virtual estimates. And so with that being said, I'm not going to each property to look at the house. So when we're showing up to these jobs, these are the first time in person that we are seeing these properties. And I used to be against this. I'm you know, most of the time in the past, I would be a show up, meet the customer, but we just don't have time in the middle of busy season. Now, if the potential client doesn't like that and they would prefer me to show up, I will carve out some time in the day to go meet them. But with all that being said, before you start any job, especially do a house that you have not been to yet, you've done a virtual estimate for, do a very thorough walkthrough of the property. You should be doing that anyways to cover outlets, ring doorbells, any cameras that look like they may not be able to withstand SH. And if you notice anything, take a picture. I always make a recording of myself speaking, saying, hey, it is August 19th at 7:40 a.m. and I am walking the property of 1840 June Avenue. And I am seeing damage here, here, here. The damage is this. And I record myself, and I have an album on my phone of damaged properties. And I will have it titled documentation of properties. And I will take pictures and I'll upload pictures to this album. That way, if something ever comes up later on, I can pull it up, show the customer, hey, this is what I found before I even started the job. But I just don't rely on that. I go get the customer and I bring them out there and say, hey, are you aware of this paint being totally missing on your house? Are you aware of this hole in your vinyl? Are you aware of this dead hydrangea on the side of your house that you probably haven't noticed, that you're going to notice when I leave and think we killed it? So anything that you can do to save your tail, to prevent you from filing a claim with your insurance, to help you avoid paying anything out of pocket for something you did not do, do a thorough walkthrough by yourself with the customer, document, save your tail, guys. All right, you guys have a good day. All right, guys, we are at another house wash. Not much mold on this one, mainly just cobwebs. This is a reoccurring client. She calls us every year. I am pulling soap right now. I'm using the Davis shooter tip, and it is hitting way up there, and I have the machine idled down a little bit. And since this house is in the shade, I'm just gonna soap all of it. Shouldn't dry too fast. Or I'll just soap half of it and come back, just to be safe. These Davis shooter tips, man, they work. All right, I'm gonna work my way to the back here. Look at that. And a pro tip, water doesn't get that off. You gotta hit cobwebs with some SH. Oh, while I was here, I upsold the driveway. I'm not doing it today, but we're gonna come back and clean the driveway in September. I'm almost finished. Another pro tip is when a customer tells you that their windows are a little leaky, get them to put a towel behind the window, and then when you spray at an angle like this. Rather than hitting it head on, you can hit this side and then go on the other side and spray this way. And that helps avoid water getting inside the house. Guys, we are finishing up. Looks much better up there. This is way more complicated than getting mold off a house, I can assure you that. But we are nice and clean. I'm about to pack up and head to the next one. Well guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Share with me how you guys get down cobwebs. I know Dragon Juice, I've heard works, but if SH works, I'm just gonna use SH. But what are y'all's techniques to getting down spider webs? I do have a long pole with a brush. I could have used that today, but I forgot it. So that was my fault. But anyways, guys, protect your company. Just protect it. Do whatever you have to do, protect your company, because the last thing you want to do is finally gain some traction, establish a good reputation, and then something catastrophic happen, or anything happens. You have to file a claim. You know, too many of those, you lose your insurance, then you're really in trouble. So protect your tails, because there are people out there who will try to get $1 off you, who will set you up and try to blame a damaged area of their house on you. I've heard of it happening. I've had it attempted on me, but I saved my own tail. But anyways, guys, hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and I'm sure I'll have some more content coming up later in the week. So see y'all then.